Paul Swingle, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to my living room.
Okay.
Okay, the chaotic thing and the kind of thing that goes on regularly and all the time and the kind of thing that you fix up in people's minds. So, what is neurobiofeedback?
Neurotherapy is the general
Neurotherapy.
term. And basically what it is we have a look at how the brain functions and look for areas of inefficiency and then bring them into normal limits, and all of the symptoms associated with that anomaly improve. The other part of it is peak and optimal performance training. As I was saying to you earlier before the program started, the two first gold medalists for the Canadian team all did neurotherapy.
Really?
And part of the podium program, the sports folks, includes neurotherapy types of procedures to make the brain sharp. And where that all came from, of course, was the Milan soccer team who won the World Cup in soccer.
Yes.
Every man on the team did neurotherapy. So basically what we do is help the brain to come into more normal functional limits, and then we can optimize performance. But most of the folks show up on our doorstep not for optimal performance, but because their child has ADD, or they're depressed, or they've had a closed head injury, or some other condition, and all of it's related to brain activity, obviously. If we can find the area of inefficiency associated with that symptom and normalize it, then the symptom improves.
Well, I've sent, I don't know, it's a couple of hundred people, if not 400 or 500 people to you. And except for one guy we know who I'm talking about.
We're getting there, by the way.
Oh, we're getting there? You're still seeing him, are you? He, except for one guy who's phoned and told me a couple of times it's not doing him any good, but his sister and everybody else that knows him thinks he's wonderful.
Yes.
Big change, okay?
Yes.
And everybody else is an individual. And I've taken the liberty tonight of doing setups, and this is the first time I've done this on this program, and we've been going for just about a year now. But I wanted to get a couple of stories with people I was associated with. Les Sikora, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Les, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. I'm here. I am
Les?
here. Hello?
Okay, try redialing that again. So then we'll have to redial because we're dialing back out to Les. Les is a fellow that had a closed head injury, and in my vernacular was looked after for something like 5 or 6 years by conventional workers' compensation and all that stuff. And when I heard about him, I said, take him to Paul Swingle. And 3 months later, he was in my office telling me, thank you. It was fixed. And I've taken the liberty of calling Les. Mitchell's calling him right now. Are you there, Les?
Yeah. Yeah, hello. You got me there?
Oh, maybe that's...
Can you
Les,
hear me
now we can hear you. We had our speakers unplugged.
now?
We don't have a separate person. In the old Ingram show on Rogers and Shaw, we had 15, 16 people. One person looked after this and one person looked after that. And this is sort of why I guess it happens in a major studio. We're doing this in the living room, Les. And I want to thank you for taking our call. Can you put in, 5 minutes or whatever, what happened to you? And
Yeah, I certainly can. I'd like to share it with you because let other people know what Dr. Swingle is certainly capable of doing. And I'd certainly like to thank him very much, Dr. Swingle, and your daughter, Mari. Well, it was 1993. It was my daughter's birthday, and I was just about going to turn 50 that year. And I suffered a severe brain trauma on the front lobe, and I ended up in St. Paul's Hospital for about 9 days, I think. And I was pretty well out to lunch, I guess. And anyways, I got home and tried to carry on with my life, but it was quite difficult because nothing seemed the same to me anymore. And I guess the biggest thing was I really missed me. My old self just wasn't there, and I was fully aware of it. But there was nothing I could do about it. And I guess I was a little bit hard to live with. And anyways, it was about 9 years after that I had heard about Dr. Swingle from you, David. Thank you. And I went and saw him, and he analyzed me and let me know that they could help me out. And I actually went with them, and I just kept on going with them until I felt better. And it was actually about 50 different sessions, four sessions a month, I think it was, for a little over a year. And then finally I just told them, I said, well, I'm done. Thank you very much. and I really did feel good. I felt like myself again, and it took a lot of patience, but I know that every time I drove home, I knew something good was happening, because my brain felt sort of nice and warm and fuzzy, and there was clarity, and I'm very pleased with the outcome.
Well, I remember, Les, the day you drove over to the office to thank me, and you were such a different person again already. Can I ask you, though, were you not going through major other treatments before you got to Paul?
No, I just some very light medication from my family doctor. That's about it. Just like a little bit of mild, like 5 milligrams of diazepam or something like that, just to mellow me out a little bit, and just
but you feel that
the edges. Pardon?
You feel you got your old self back?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, like when I on the last session that we had. I had to give Mari a big hug, because I just felt so good, and I just knew myself. When you're not yourself.
Yeah.
And well, at that time, I really felt like I was myself, and which is quite amazing, because I mean, I was suffering with this for 7 years, I suppose it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 years, and. It took another year, and I was right back to where I wanted to be.
Well, that's great, Les. I really appreciate your phoning in, or us phoning you, or letting me phone you and put you on. Have you got anything to... See, when I met Paul Swingle, I'm going to make a comment. I have interviewed 2,000 or 3,000 people, but at the time I interviewed Paul for the first time on my actual television show, the daily television show, I asked him what he did, and do you remember what you told me, Paul?
I treat ADD.
Well, you just say you treated it. You said you cured it.
All right,
You said, I cure ADD. And I didn't believe that was possible. And the reason I didn't believe it was possible was because Shirley Stalker had just done a 2-hour documentary on ADD, with the kids up in Kelowna and so on, and it was all about different drugs and different this and so on, and nobody was being cured. All that was happening was psychologists, psychiatrists, and so on were teaching the families how to deal with the situation. Is that a good way to put it? How to cope. And nobody cured it. And I said, well, what drugs do you use? And you said... Zilch. No drugs. So Paul Swingle, who I consider one of my best friends and associates and compatriots and in the whole world today, Paul Swingle has the honor of being the only guest that I ever had that I vetted. Most of the time when I met somebody, I'd say, yeah, come on the show tomorrow. I mean, I can pick guys like Sam Campbell, who's, well, off the street, and tuck him and put him on the show because he was an interesting person.